Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Ray Winstone. In the news this week, at the beginning of a long sea voyage, the crew of a fishing trawler discovered a television is stuck on ITV2. Kim Jong-un... It's easy for you to say. Yeah. Informs the West that his signal to launch a nuclear strike will be delivered by the lightning-fast high-tech communication methods. And in Tokyo, after 3 days, representatives from the Guinness Book of Records stand by to present the award for the world's longest yawn. On Ian's team tonight is a Sunday Times journalist who recently won an award for Hatchet Job of the Year, an award previously won by an East End acquaintance of mine, Dickie the X-Man Wilson. Please welcome Camilla Long. And with Paul tonight is a comedian who recently said that television mainly serves the talentless. Welcome back for the 11th time, Reginald D. Hunter. And we start with the bigger stories of the week. Ian and Camilla, take a look at this.
It's the White Heather Club.
Dancing socks.
Osborne? No idea what that is.
Tiny tears. That's what it is.
Oh, more Scottish dancing.
More dancing.
You're talking about dancing a lot, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we'll get on with it.
Yeah.
If they go independent, the Chancellor said to them, well, you can't have the pound.
Ah.
And Alex Salmond, who will be in charge of Scotland, his title isn't clear yet, it may be King. Last year, he was really keen on having the euro, but then something happened.
Do you think they'll give the opportunity for an alternative currency that none of us have ever heard of?
Yes, the Mars bar.
Yes.
So what do the Scots want?
Well, we don't know yet. We haven't asked them on the referendum.
Well, hold on a minute. They want independence.
If I give the wrong answer,
nation.
do you get out the pliers?
No, you get...
They've given a wish list of what they want. They want the Queen, they want the pound, they want to stay in NATO, they want to stay in the EU. I'm pretty pro-union, so I see it as a joint enterprise, like a long marriage, about 300 years.
No, it's a long argument in the kitchen, is what it is, to be fair.
And who's won?
Well, it's usually the bird, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. Why is George Osborne saying they can't have it?
It's basically saying... It's a bit of a threat. It's saying, vote no, and you'll be all right.
So if Scotland becomes a separate country, he doesn't want the Scottish economy to drag us all down with it. But to be fair, Scotland's economy does have its strengths, their chief exports being oil, whisky, tartan and tramps.
Sometimes combined in one glorious package.
One for the audience. Should we all be happy to let the Scots keep the pound, or should we just tell them to bugger off? Hands up who says bugger off.
Oh, no!
So what's the latest economic news, then?
We nearly went into recession, but we didn't.
Ah.
So George Osborne says that's fine. We've got enormous growth of about 0.3%.
Well, it's bang on, yeah. Which is 4/5 of... Oh.
That's exactly right.
What have we narrowly escaped?
Is it a Martian death ray?
A triple dip recession.
Right.
Right? So what's so bad about that?
If you've got a series of dips, it's better to have 2 rather than 3.
Right.
Guacamole, hummus, no. Don't do the third. No one likes it.
On learning that we avoided a triple dip...
Yes.
Yes.
Sky News went straight to their most serious-looking economic expert for a reaction. There's still apparently 1.2 trillion in debt, and if we pay it back at this rate, how long would it take to clear it?
Well, it depends if we go to Wonga or not.
400 years. So it's not really our problem, is it? Despite all of this, loads of Bulgarians want to come here and live. But do you know why?
To meet Nigel Farage?
Yeah, have a look.
Mainly because of Top Gear. I'm not sure, because it's, you know, it's a great passion for me, and I really like the presenters.
I thought Farage went to Bulgaria.
Farage went to Bulgaria. The cameras followed him to see how people would respond to him. And almost every Bulgarian said, do you want to come to England? They said, no, not at all. No, I don't want to.
That was a very impressive facsimile you did of Bulgarians.
Yes, I've been practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I'm American, there's no subtext to my compliment. I mean...
So, what are hospitals thinking of doing to save money?
Opening. Closing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Treat them, I don't know.
Well, that's the question. I need the answer, don't I?
This is where it gets quite scary.
Yes, I know. I'm a bit frightened already.
Don't you read the paper?
Yes. I write bits of it.
Turfing out old people who are only slightly ill and putting them into hotels.
Yes, it's halfway between a nursing home and a hospital.
Apparently, it costs 300 quid to spend a night in hospital and only 65 quid in the Premier Inn. This has been tried in several foreign countries, and according to the Health Minister, Earl Howe, we can learn a lot from the Scandinavian model. Well, I'm ready when she is. Right, staying with the NHS, what do they want to regulate more closely?
Nurses.
No.
They do, you know.
No. Getting more near, like, what we do with us, how we look, you know? Getting onto that
plastic surgery?
Ah, see, babe, you're on the right track.
Thanks, babe. You sexy old father time.
Yeah.
I think the rest of us should just leave discreetly.
Now, see, unlike my comment, their comments are full of subtext.
Well, according to the NHS, Medical Director Sir Bruce Keogh, if you have something put inside your body, like a pacemaker or a knee joint, the regulation around that is pretty tight. But if you have, for example, something implanted into your buttocks, the regulation is about the same that applies to a toothbrush or a ballpoint pen.
Are those two of the objects you can have put into your buttocks?
What have Ed Balls and Ed Miliband been hinting at?
Been
hinting at?
Yeah.
What have they been hinting at?
Don't know.
So posh.
You're wearing a suit.
Yeah, I can afford it.
That's because you don't pay any tax.
That's why he's dressed up. He was in court this morning. Plea bargaining.
Give us a clue.
No. I am now sulking.
Why?
No, I'm going to tell you. Okay. They've been leaking and then denying that Labour will crank up public spending if they get elected.
Ah, right.
Telling everyone right now that they are going to boost public spending is a big gamble. So what are they waiting for? Betting play now.
What is the betting thing? Have you done something with betting, Ray?
You haven't seen them?
No.
It's in the middle of football matches.
Yes,
Yeah.
no.
Now, to put the tin out on everything, what has the terrible weather we've had done to my breakfast?
Is that another Cockney saying?
Yeah.
What has the weather done to me breakfast? I'm gonna take that back to Georgia and shock the hell out of them.
This is about Weetabix, Ray.
Yeah.
There's been a very bad harvest because of the terrible weather.
Yes.
There hasn't been enough wheat. There isn't enough Weetabix. So they've restricted it, and you haven't got any.
Yeah.
It's only going to posh people.
Congratulations, Ian.
I had 6.
What a bastard. What have the cereal manufacturers, Happy Foods, called their latest cereal?
Miserable.
Nah. Well,
Happy
here's the
Meal.
ad for it.
Brian and Corinne Mullins invented a breakfast of champions. In 2009, the couple launched Holy Crap cereal as a healthy breakfast alternative.
At what point are you meant to shout, holy crap? When it arrives on the table, when you eat it, when you...
I think much later.
This is a row as to whether the independent Scotland would be able to use the pound as its currency. Alex Salmon has called for the creation of a sterling zone, which sounds good, but the way the economy's going, I think we'd be calling it Poundland. Meanwhile, The Sun interviewed an economist in the ING Bank who said that following a much better than expected 0.3% increase in GDP, George Osborne can now allow himself a moment of smugness. A moment's fine, but a lifetime's taking a piss. Paul and Reg.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, about time, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Take a look at this.
Righto.
Right, put some pressure on y'all.
Yeah.
Empty street, nothing happening.
Yep.
A house. is
Sleepy
empty.
neighborhood.
Sleeping man on bike.
Yeah, it's a big high point of the day.
Policeman dressed in 1940s fashion.
Yep, and Britain before immigration.
Yeah.
Things was lovely.
I think, judging by looking at this footage of things aren't happening, and the policeman at the end is probably the key clue, is it about falling crime rates?
Oh, you are good, Paul.
Less hound,
You're
less
much better
burden.
than him. Yeah, this is the news that rates of violent crime and murder are falling rapidly, apart from in my films. According to the UK Peace Index, well, it's fallen by 25% in the past 10 years.
That's pretty good.
And the number of police officers dropped by 6%.
Do you think there's a link?
Well, there might be. But it still leaves 19% unaccounted for.
Well, it might be that the recession is affecting everybody. Back home, my cousin, he got robbed by a man with a bullet because he didn't have a gun. He was like, don't make me throw this at you.
Did the man throw the bullet in the end? Was it a bluff?
It was a bluff. As it turned out, he'd had no training in throwing bullets and killing people.
According to the UK Peace Index, what is the most peaceful part of Britain?
It's Norfolk.
It's Norfolk.
It's got to be one of the home counties.
And funny enough, it's Broadland.
Where?
Broadland. How do you say that? Broadland, Just 8 violent crimes were recorded in 2012, right? It's one of the top stories this week in their local newspaper. JCB gets stuck in the sea near Cromer Pier. And here's the shocking scene. At one point, the waves were crashing into the vehicle up to a height of 6 inches. Why does Tory County Councillor John Cherry fear a rise in crime?
Because ethnic minority children are being bussed down to Swanage or somewhere where he
Sussex.
lives. Sussex. And he has objected to this in the strongest possible terms and not very friendly terms, I think.
Is he also worried because somebody's recently stuck a bridge through his head? But he's too proud to admit it, but he has to go there every rush hour and stand there for half an hour while he's shopping. He's too proud to admit it.
The inner city school in Stockwell, London, plans to open its own boarding school in a posh part of West Sussex and send 600 of its pupils there. John Cherry told the Mail on Sunday 97% of pupils will be black or Asian. It depends what type of Asian. If they're Chinese, they'll rise to the top. If they're Indian, they'll rise to the top. If they're Pakistani, they won't. John Cherry is no longer a member of the Conservative Party. Although he is still a councillor and a prat. This is a study which shows that violent crime has fallen throughout the UK. Sexual crime has also fallen, although that's largely due to Top of the Pops being cancelled. Meanwhile, the legal battle over Abu Qatada continues. Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper mocked the government's failings, saying, "A year ago, Theresa May promised Abu Qatada would soon be on a plane. Something everyone would like to see, except perhaps the other passengers." Right, round two's coming up. How's that going to pan out? The latest odds are on your screen now.
You're not encouraging the audience to bet, are you?
This next round is the strengthometer of news. Fingers on the buzzers, team. Here's the first one.
Oh, yes, this is rather unfortunate sort of graphic that's turned Lord Levison's head into an arse, but...
This is David Sherborne. He was acting for most of the celebrities, and her name is...
Catherine Patry Hoskins.
Thank you. Who was acting for the inquiry. She was assisting Lord Levison. And the feeling is that there was a sort of perceived conflict of interest when someone acting for one party is in a relationship with the other. But they rather confused things by saying they weren't in a relationship, they'd gone to the Greek island of Santorini together, secretly, to discuss whether they should have a relationship.
Were they sort of drawn to each other because their heads don't fit properly on their bodies?
I think it's
Let's get a helium balloon in the shape of Lord Levison and just have it between us.
The question is, how do you manage to go to Santorini and not have sex? I mean, it's a complete pants-off place.
Have you been?
I've been alone.
A lot of people seem to feel like if they really want to have like the kind of sex that they want to have, they have to leave the country. Like they go to Spain or somewhere. British people do that a lot. It's like, oh my God, I don't want people to know I enjoy sex, so I'm gonna go to Thailand or.
I've got an erection. Get me to the airport.
Yeah.
Fingers on the buzzers, team.
Oh. There is a brilliant poodle that makes dresses, but it can only stick with one pattern. And it's made the dress for her and it's made the shirt for him.
Yep. What you think about that?
I know what I think about it, and I
think it's
said
a better answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is the news that married couple Nancy and Donald Featherstone
Yeah.
have worn matching clothes for 35 years. Here they are on holiday.
Is that Santorini?
Now, what is Donald's claim to fame, apart from this, obviously?
He used to wear other clothes.
He invented something. Pink, you see him in Africa, but...
A flamingo.
He invented flamingos.
ornaments. Here are the couple with the ornaments.
Ah. It looks like he's been run over. He's got a tire mark right across his...
I have the feeling that this is her idea.
Time now for the odd one out round. Paul and Rich, your four are Louis Suarez,
Yes.
the West Midlands police officer,
Yeah.
Mark Thompson and Peach the Alsatian.
Well, Suarez, of course, was in the news as he bit a Chelsea player on the arm last week during a match at Anfield. Mark Thompson used to be Director General of the BBC. He once bit somebody else on the arm as well, I think, during a journalistic argument somewhere. I don't know about the policeman, I don't know about the dog, but I guess the dog's the odd one out because it doesn't bite any people, it's got no teeth.
No.
well,
Well, they have
I'll give
all
up
bitten
then.
someone apart from the West Midlands police officer.
Oh, yeah.
Who was bitten?
Yeah, he was bitten by a flea in a police station.
Was
How
the
did
flea
he-
helping police with inquiries at the time?
It turned out this week that a lot of policemen are suing their employers for what we would consider minor infringements.
Yes.
And this bloke was bitten by a flea and he sued his own police authority.
Yeah, he sued West Midlands Police and received an £8,000 payout. So, Louis Suarez.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, we're not allowed to show you the footage. Here's an artist's representation. I mean, what was the general reaction?
Well, I was delighted because I'd bet on it. I put 100 monkeys.
Those busy little bees on Twitter took the photoshopping him in various hilarious ways. Here's one. And another. Peach the Alsatian.
Yes.
Now, police officers in West Yorkshire became exasperated when prosecutors asked for an account of the crime from a PC Peach, not realising Peach was, in fact, the name of the police dog. Here is the witness statement the Crown Prosecution Service complained about. I chase him, I bite him, bad man, he tasty, good boy, Peach. I mean, it makes a change from he drunk, he stumble in cells, he dead, I never touched him. Ian and Camilla, here are yours. Cliff Richards, the Oxford Cots, the Norwegian log fire and the new Dutch King's inaugural song.
The new Dutch king had a song written for his coronation, a special song, and decided he hated it. The Oxford Cox. He swore a lot during the race this year.
Yes, swore like a porn star all the way through.
Is Cliff Richard the only one who's been uncomfortable because he was in place directly above a fire? We're all going on the summer barbecue.
Wasn't there a Norwegian TV show about logs and getting logs and putting them in a fire, and they complained about the way the logs were stacked?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
But no one has ever complained about Cliff.
Why?
Because he's
So
great.
who's the odd one out then?
Cliff, because he's going on a summer holiday and we're not.
Right, well, they've all caused an audience to complain.
Right.
But it's about people moaning. You know, Cliff isn't known for making people moan, is he, right? But they have all they have all caused an audience to complain, apart from Cliff Richards, whose music caused his audience to die.
You got any evidence for that?
Yeah.
Yes, there was people who heard Bachelor Boy 1961 who are no longer with us.
According to Gardener's Question Time, a study conducted on the effect of music on plants revealed that the plants which had been played Cliff's music all died. Whereas the ones in the Black Sabbath greenhouse all flourished. All the plants in Snoop Dogg's greenhouse were impounded by the police. A Norwegian log fire.
Yeah.
This is a log fire that was aired for 8 hours on Norwegian TV during the peak Friday night slot. The programme, you know, it divided a nation. 50% complained that the bark was facing up, 50% complained the bark was facing down. An expert said, the one thing that really divides Norway is bark. The Dutch King's song, a song composed to mark the inauguration of the new King of the Netherlands, was withdrawn by the composer after it attracted a storm of criticism. Let's have a look.
Eén strijd, twee levens. We staan voor elkaar niet te breken. Eén vlag, twee leeuwen. Met elkaar in de zon en de regen. Zij aan zij, kort vooruit. Trots is een pauw, dit is ons geluid. Dit is ons en hoe klein we ook zijn. Onze daden zijn groot, gaan niet onderuit. Voor jou, mijn kind. Voor mijn pa, mijn mama.
Well,
As long as they're both willing participants. Perhaps he's trying to get a reduction on his car insurance.
very good, yeah. According to the Daily Telegraph, in musical terms, the song is an unlikely combination of choral and rap, known as crap.
I think I'd rather like that.
What?
Zadok.
Really good.
You'll never guess what I just imagined. I imagined that was empty.
It's the best reaction I've ever got out of Paul.
You've never said before. Oh, well, let's guarantee that to be in, otherwise you won't explain this to anybody. Oh, dear.
The missing word round is coming up.
Oh, yes, I've forgotten about that.
Who's going to be the daddy? The latest odds are on your screen now. Have a bang on that. This week's guest publication is the Teddy Bear Times. To be honest, inside it's mostly padding. And we start with, is this the shortest what in history?
Oh, yes, isn't it the man who
yeah.
said the rude word presenting the news?
Yeah, this is newsreader AJ Clementi on his first anchoring shift. Let's see how he got on.
You're watching the Evening Sunday on NBC North Dakota News, your news leader in high definition.
Gay. Shit.
Good evening, I'm you have seen AJ on NBC North Dakota News, and he'll be joining the weekend news team as my co-anchor. Tell us a little bit about yourself, AJ.
Thanks, Van. I'm very excited. I graduated from West Virginia University, and I'm used to, you know, from being from the East Coast.
Okay, well, welcome aboard, AJ.
She seems to already know that his ass is gone.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think if he'd been really clever after he'd sort of, like, accidentally sworn, and the news in just now, newsreader swears at beginning of live broadcast, reactions coming in a moment. That's what I would have done.
But I think newsreaders should. It would be more interesting if they swore. Like, this bullshit just in.
Well, you know what, though? Next, what finally emits tightening?
There was the ex-Tory MP Louise Mensch. It's not her, is it?
I can't believe you got it that quick.
She's had her face done.
Well, I sat next to her here.
Yes.
Yeah?
I had no idea.
Oh, well,
Don't you be sitting next to her?
I didn't know she was a Tory.
I'm not surprised the way you carry on, you foul-mouthed devil. One law for the rich and another law for people who are hosting shows in North Dakota.
And finally, Gay Whimpery will keep you what? Yeah.
Is it the name of a bear?
Must be.
No, it's something to do with comfort, and we'll keep you nice and
warm.
We'll keep you cosy.
Say you was on a boat somewhere. Where's a boat sell?
Harbour, at sea.
Yeah, sea, yeah.
Yeah.
Dry.
Keep you...
Yeah, well, what would you like to be when you're at sea? You
sea
like
on
to
a
be...
boat, I'm feeling out on the boat. I think the waves are coming in. I can't believe I did that again. 3 times. Great. Is that the answer?
No.
Oh.
We'll keep you warm at sea. This is, of course, designer Gay Whimpery, who has created this teddy bear sailor jacket for when the sea breezes get a bit chilly. The sailor teddy actually owns a pair of trousers as well, but he's just taken them off and he's waiting his turn in the teddy bear brothel. The final scores are... Paul and Reginald were 6, Ian and Camilla, 8.
Hey, how the hell
There's time for the caption competition. Ian and Camilla have this.
They're all saying, "You going to her funeral?" No, not me.
Paul and Reg get that.
Reginald wasn't like the other chickens.
When he opened his eyes, he realised he had not been granted quite the wish he had asked for.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Camilla Long, Paul Merton and Reginald D. Hunter, and I'll leave you with news that Boris Johnson is very keen to try out a new fare-dodging scheme currently on trial in Asia. In Berlin, there's evidence that Germany's prune shortage is beginning to have an effect. And a new arrival settles into Battersea Dog Zone. Raider Jack Russell makes it very clear who's the daddy. Blinding geezer. Good night.
Have I Got News for You back on BBC One next Friday at the usual time of 9. The best bits from QI over on BBC 2 now, or head to BBC 3 for more laughs with Lee Nelson's Well, Funny People.